Thanks for tuning in. You're now listening to the hottest podcast show in the world, The Dilemma, with your hosts Shantae and Gemini. Be sure to hit that like button, comment, and share the episode to friends and family. Anyone looking to be a part of this live broadcasting, call in at 702-605-4836.
Okay, jumping right in.
Good afternoon, Las Vegas.
The title of the day. Look, see, I'm a little, astounded right now because that was my first time hearing the introduction. So I'm like, I'm kind of a little loaded off of it right now. I'm like, okay,
That got me.
It sounds good,
Loving
I
it.
like
Loving
it.
our engineer.
Right.
That got me too.
I'm like, well, I was surprised. You should have warned me.
Surprise!
So, the topic of the day is renting in 2023.
OMG. Let's
Yes.
talk about it.
So, right now, more what I'm seeing more of is rent increases and fee increases, and
There's a fee for everything. Everything.
and this what gets me. A realtor or management or whatever they do, they charge you the fee. It can be like $100 for a credit check
Yes.
per adult.
That's step one.
And a lot of them, they want to charge you application fee as well as a holding fee.
That's step two.
But the drawback to it is if you don't qualify to move in, you
don't
lose
get
your money.
None of that back. Cold-blooded.
So can you imagine trying to move and already having fun moving, but on top of that, you also have to worry about just applying.
Right.
And just applying nowadays, just applying for an apartment, a house, you're looking at like $300 to $500.
You got a double stack. You got to have a stack just to apply.
Yes.
That stack alone, you got to have a whole stack just to apply. Because
Right.
remember, you still got to have the move in,
Mm-hmm.
the deposit, first, last, all that good shit. So realistically, you got to stack twice.
Right. And that's why it takes more than, one income. But, and I always wanted to own my place by the time I was about 35, so I'm a little late. And
40.
especially with
Right.
everything going on, wow. But, and I think that it's best to, if you're going to pay rent, you paying mortgage instead of somebody else's mortgage, right?
Right, this is going towards you.
Right.
You.
Because we have people that enter into mortgage contracts and they only have to pay, say, $900 a month, and they're charging you $1,800 a month. So you're pretty much paying for the mortgage and the place that you're renting out, and then you're also paying the mortgage for the place that they're renting out. You know what I'm saying? So what happens is, a lot of times, like if there's a situation with the landlord, like the situation I was in, on the other podcast that we had,
Mm-hmm.
the landlord, lost her job. Her husband was never working, so she ended up losing her place where she was staying. But I continued to pay rent, so the rent was always paid for the place that I was in.
Mm-hmm.
So it was easy for her to just put me and my family on the street, so that she can move back into her place that I had been, keeping the rent paid on.
Right.
So you end up putting yourself in all kind of situations just by renting, and you have to be careful who you renting from.
And the sad part, you don't even know when it'll strike.
Right.
It'll strike out the blue.
Yeah, they could be already getting foreclosed on.
And you don't even know. They don't
Right.
even share that information with you.
Right. I remember I rented a place, this was, wow, probably like 15 years ago. Probably like 18 years ago. This is a while. I'm
Damn.
old, you know. So let me see. Yeah. So anyway, it was a while ago, and this was a young girl too. She was probably about 25, 26. Her and her boyfriend, you know. And so I rented black girl. You know how we do our own kind. You know, we fuck each other over. But anyway. And, you know, I had just started renting from this lady. And like 5 months into the contract, 4 months into it, I guess she had already lost the place. So the bank had came and put, you know, a foreclosure on the place, but she had been taking the notices off the doors and shit like that. So I never seen it.
Never saw them. Yeah.
So I didn't find out until last minute, you know. So I done already lined up somewhere else to stay. You know, I'm like, all right, cool. I'm just waiting on, you know, the 1st. Because, you know, my rent was paid until the 1st. I already knew, you know, she was getting, by this time, you know, I had just found out, but I found a place. This was like a month, probably 6 weeks, you know what I'm saying? Before, you know, the constable came. So that means I was only there for like 4 months altogether, 5 months. So she knew she was already, you know,
in process.
Right.
But she still moved you in.
Right.
She robbed you.
Exactly.
Period. We're going to sum it all up. She robbed you.
Right. So, and the crazy part about it is, you know, this happened on the 23rd of the month. So I only had like 1 more week left, and I would have been in my own place. I mean, my new place.
Right.
So the constable came. They like, nah, you got to go right now. So you have to grab a couple things and, you know, you and your kids or whatever. And by this time, I had 2 kids, just, you know, my oldest daughter and my oldest son. So I grab a couple things, you know, because like I said, I was already packed up,
Right.
you know, but I wasn't, you know, I couldn't
wasn't
take
ready.
everything right then.
Right.
So I took what I could, a couple baskets of clothes. So, you know, I'm so mad. I'm speeding down the street, you know, trying to get somewhere because, you know, I wanted to, you know, I was so angry when they
explode.
came. And so I ended up going to jail anyway. I ended up losing all my shit, you know, having to start over, but it was okay. But just going through the motions of just renting from somebody, you know, and then you rent from people and they just regular people just like you don't know what, you know, their intentions are.
True.
You know, and they can rob you for everything.
But then you got some genuine ones out here.
Yeah, it
you
is.
really do.
But what I'm seeing a lot of now is just
Take.
rent increases. Rent increases.
Take.
Right.
Take.
The place I moved in was $9.95. And just keep in mind that the only reason I moved in this place is because the landlord did me and my kids foul with, you know, the whole, she needed somewhere to go. So it was like, fuck us, you know.
Right.
That's how she repaid me for keeping my rent paid, you know. So anyway, move in here, it's only $9.95.
Cool.
Shit. Not really, because by the time the next month hit, when I really in there, it was 1,200. Then he went up again. Then he went up again. Now he just went up again. It's 1,400. I barely been there a year. So 1,400, I should go somewhere else and spend 1,400 then, because if you knew the area, it's like
What am
I'm
I paying
sleeping
for?
with the homeless people pretty much.
Right. There's no scenery to look at.
No, the scenery, like okay, there's a lock gate to get into, to even get to my gate. So, but when I park, I have to park in the alley. So, it's homeless people all sleeping all out in the alley.
So it's like, what am I paying for?
1,400 for something that's not even 1,000 square feet. I'm trying to understand now. If I had my own house, which, it's like, it's crazy because just to qualify to rent a house, they want you to be making at least 3 to 4 times the rent amount.
Right.
So if you rent something that is $1,000 a month, now they want you to be making at least $4,000 a month. Right? And they want your credit score to be a certain amount. So, rewind. While you're in the middle of moving, while you trying to find a place, you paying $100 application fee, $100 credit check.
For each adult.
Right.
Make that clear. Each
And
adult.
then, by the time you get home, they done sent you a message saying, oh, yeah, you didn't pass the credit check. So all that money you just gave is gone.
It's gone.
Now you to the next one. Now, just think about this. If they can get $400 or $500 from everybody that applied just to apply, why rent it out? Why would you rent it out when you can just make all this? If you get 10 people and then you look and you see, dang, it been 98 people that applied.
At $100 a pop.
Like, well, what if
$70
98 people
a pop.
didn't qualify? What's the problem? You obviously not
haven't-
trying to rent.
Period.
Because it doesn't, out of 98 candidates, you mean to tell me everybody that you ran a credit check on didn't qualify? That's how you know. That's what you have to be aware of. And when you're out there looking for somewhere to live, and to rent, pay attention to how many applications they have on the property.
Even when you go to look for the application, look to see
Yeah,
how
because
many applications been put in
right,
versus the units they have available.
because that's a scam. It's a scam itself, and that's how a lot of these realtors are making money right now.
So you got to ask those questions. Well, how many applications do you have already, pending on this one? And
Right.
the moment they say 2 or more, let it go.
Well, two not so bad. That mean they just listed it. It's just out there. But when you seeing like 20 applications, out of 20 applicants, you couldn't find anybody to rent. But I know for a fact I just gave you $300, $400, $500 out of my pocket just to see if I qualify. Because they want application, they want credit check, and they want the what is it called? The asset. What is it called? They want the holding deposit. They want the it's the holding fee. Anyway, it'll come back. But